Welcome to a brand new year and a brand new recap of all the old seasons that we watched last year on the URT Number podcast. My name is Michael Harmstone, and for the first time ever, joining me are the predictable but deserving Logan Saunders. I think Ben probably knows where these intros are going. The lady who proves once and for all that the foreign versions are better, Michelle Pearce-Denovan.
Hello.
And the guy who proves that all the most interesting and biggest characters come from New Zealand, Ben Powell.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And Eamon will be joining us when he can be bothered. He needs an escort, apparently. Doesn't shock me. As with all our shows last year. I've started on the bagging on Eamon already. I've not podcasted with him for 7 months. As with all our shows last year, we're live for the next 2 hours, so please get in contact with us for your memories, opinions, and general snarkiness about all 4 seasons that we're covering. All Stars! All Stars! To quote Bethany Hamilton. Amazing Race Canada 2, Amazing Race Australia versus New Zealand, and Amazing Race 25. If you're watching on Google+, you can get your questions in. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can post comments underneath this video, and of course, tweet us using the hashtag #yatncast, which is visible when most of us are on the screen, excluding Logan, of course, because he can't be bothered. I'm in quite a mean mood today, I don't know why. So, welcome back to podcasting with me, Michelle, for the first time in 13 months.
The last time we did this, it was, I ended up having to go to bed, and you just kept on going.
Yeah, the last time we did this, me and Logan just decided to laugh a lot about the Black family, for some reason.
I wasn't even in the picture.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Ben is our temp.
Yeah, Ben is our temp whilst no one else has swanned off to travel Europe in the Surviving Historians model.
Mm-hmm.
So we are covering our 4 favourite seasons of the year purely because they're the only ones we watched. And just generally recapping it for anyone who did it like the plague, like you would do with Amazing Race 24. Which I would have done if I wasn't podcasting about it, let's be honest. So, shall we get the shit show out of the way first?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Let us begin. Let us begin.
So, before at the start of each season, I will quote what Ben said on the recaps of the seasons when he did the poll. So, coming from a franchise that held the most successful and well put together all-star season of any reality show on television, we got this 7 years later. A cast filled with three-peats, questionable casting choices, a route so simple it could be completed by the gutsy grannies, the winners going from mildly popular to immensely unpopular, as revealed by the contestants poll, the non-winners being polarising, and generally just one of, if not the most worthless seasons of The Amazing Race ever put together. 4.41 out of 10. Of course,
I've been swayed, do I?
No, of course, IGN would have given it at least 7.8 for having too much water, but, you know. Still annoyed about that. I'm still defending my Pokemon honor. Though I'm not wearing Pokemon
with the current references, I like it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, as I did warn you, we are going to be going through some of my favourite one-time jokes as well, because, you know, they didn't get the love they deserved. Although I know Logan's already spoiled one of them. So
do we really have to talk about the season?
Well, I think it sort of capped it off when, you know, right on the mat, Bopper couldn't do it, and Mallory had to join Mark, and it was just like a car crash. You couldn't help looking at it, but it just wasn't working. And for me, Mallory's, I don't know, her whole persona went down for me, and yeah, that was it.
Let me be the first to say, I don't have no clothes!
You can do it a little louder. I don't think they heard you in Scotland.
There's no one down there today, as you might guess. I'm literally home alone. So I can just...
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. I have set up traps for various New York stereotype thieves. Robbers.
Of course.
But yeah, I think it was quite apparent on the 2 episodes that we podcasted about Mark and Mallory. I am quite a big fan of Mallory. I am not a big fan of Bopper and Mark. Never have been. So to see her have to get dragged down by him really quite disappointed me. I do think Mallory is one of the most enthusiastic racers we've ever seen. Even when she was climbing through piles of manure, she was still had a beaming smile on her face, and that does go a long way. It actually goes back to the argument I was making on Reddit about Amy and Maya winning. The editors want to make characters they like Amy and Maya, who won, or Mallory, who didn't, three times, seem really genuinely appreciative to be there and just enjoying the experience, even if they don't win. And sadly, we don't get many racers who are like that anymore. I mean, Mallory never did a lap of the pit stop, or made a ridiculous face when she was told that she was not eliminated, like Maya did.
But she did make a ridiculous face when it came to Snapple, though.
Have you seen that screenshot? I love that. That is Mallory.
I've seen it a couple times, I think.
Oh, it's probably the reason Snaffle have never sponsored the Amazing Race since, but I love it. It's just like, yay, we get a Snaffle-related trip. Oh, shit, it's awful.
Better than breakfast in bed, though?
I completely forgot about that till I was screen capping that episode yesterday. The fact that
I'll be the naysayer and say that I enjoyed both Mallory and Mark in their original seasons. Like in season 20, it was sort of like a desolate place for finding anything enjoyable there. So like, even if it was like a sub story, it was like, well, it's not harming anyone. It's like, they're just racing. They're not vilifying anyone for not using race twists or for daring to have an argument or anything like that. It's just like, as much as I do rag on season 20 in general for not really having enough drama, but like, there wasn't really that much drama in the first place, but I didn't really appreciate when Branch was star drama all the time, but I did appreciate it when Mark and Bopper were like staying out of drama because it was just like pointless drama, really pointless drama. I know you can say pointless about everything on the Amazing Race or any reality television in general, but still.
I think I am the exception to the rule with Mark and Bopper. I think, as with quite a few teams, I don't like them. Quite a lot of people do. But when I heard that Mark and Mallory were going to be teamed up, my heart sank for her because she didn't deserve it. In my humble opinion.
I liked Mark and Bopper, and even now Bopper wants to get on. He still wants to have another go. And he's so disappointed he didn't get to do it. But yeah, that teaming was just.
Hello, guys.
Oh, hello.
Hey, man.
You know how to make an entrance.
That made my ears bleed.
You know how to make an entrance.
Yeah, I was stuck in the traffic jam. Sorry about
that. I've missed Eamon's random noises.
Yeah, it's like that. What are you guys talking about? What did I miss?
Amazing Race 24. We're just talking about how horrible Mark is, basically. And joining us.
Even before he ain't got no clothes.
I ain't got no clothes! So joining us, you might have guessed from that ridiculous noise, is the guy who went from mildly popular to immensely unpopular in a single season. I had a bitchy remark, and it would have sounded much better if you'd joined us in time.
And then Natalie and Nadia went out first, and so that was even more disappointing.
At least Natalie and Nadia got vindication in Survivor.
Well,
One of them.
did. Nadia's like Francesca now.
I'm pretty sure that she got... It's Hayward.
Yeah, I was adjusting my microphone. I was adjusting my microphone.
It's like a friggin' helicopter.
Sorry about it.
It's like the police are searching for someone over my house.
Sorry about that.
Anyway. Oh, I've missed just being casually mean to Amy. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that that Natalie just used her winnings to buy a house for her and Nadia anyway. So there's not going to be. She's not going to have lost out of it really.
And they're now they're chained together. They'll never.
Exactly. Oh my God, you idiot! I won $1 million, you idiot!
Can someone do Nadia accent, please? Logan, I know you like to do accent. Can you try to do something for us?
Logan?
Yeah, Logan.
He's half asleep.
It's weird. Yeah. He didn't even hear what I said.
I'm not even sure if Logan knows where he is right now. He's just.
I know where I am.
He's just got that.
2:30 a.m.
Yeah, the audio's just tough.
It's 2:30 a.m. in the morning.
So what else was there about 24 that sucked that we haven't talked about?
Joey and Megan basically phoning in.
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Because Joey sucks automatically, and then in this season, Megan sucked.
Yeah. Yet again, not a fan of their work, but was kind of happy to see them go out so early. Especially as Eamon was basically directly responsible for it.
Yeah. I have to be honest, actually season 24, I didn't remember that much, but it was too worse, the worst ever. And I didn't even remember, the only thing I remember about 24 is that they went to my hometown. Then after that, pretty much I forgotten everything about the went to. And I need to check back because it didn't just I didn't even feel like to remember it. But,
Another bullshit thing from 24. Brenchel got saved by non-elimination.
That's awesome.
I completely disagree with that.
Could you not just delay it one more round and give me the victory screen cap of seeing Brenchel eliminated?
Yeah, my favorite team.
Yeah, but then that'd be like a Dave and Connor, Afghanimals, and Caroline and Jennifer final three, and that's worse.
And Luke actually have. That's the question.
The Afghanimals.
Would Margie and Luke have caught up? Because they probably would have got a speed bump in 6 if that happened.
No, they were just imploding, those two.
No, nowhere near as bad as it was in Unfinished Business. But
you apologize.
To quote, I'm going to go for a really low blow here.
So that man right.
To quote the Wild Thornberrys, Luke was having a smashing time.
Oh, okay, yes.
I gotta say, I didn't mind them as much in this season, if only because we didn't get thousands of confessional every episode. Oh, Luke is so inspirational. Marty's so strong. They can do no wrong whatsoever.
No, they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same sort of feelings on them as I have on the Cowboys. I liked them in their first season, didn't like them in Unfinished Business, quite liked them in All Stars because they weren't horrible.
Yeah, but the Cowboys are always horrible, so I don't know what you're on about.
The Cowboys at least did not say anything offensive on screen this time.
That you know of. Wait, never mind.
They probably did not go to the the mandatory rest period and call Luke names.
Yeah. How are you doing, Ben? Cowboy things and stuff.
I'm fine. I shaved this off. It's not like cancer or anything.
Yeah. He's going with the Richard Herrera look from Amazing Race Asia 4.
Ben is having much more trouble with certain Bogans rather than the Cowboys now, aren't you?
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. The Cowboy fans are worse than the Cowboys themselves.
Yeah, are the Bogans worse than the Cowboy fans, though?
Probably, yeah.
Team Bogan. Hashtag Team Bogan.
Gosh, you did the Aussie accent well.
It's from listening to too much Hamish and Andy.
Logan.
And from hearing Jared shout the word, "Stop bloody sliding!" all the time.
Yeah. Pretty much close.
Yeah, full disclosure, I did shout that at work a couple of weeks ago. Stop bloody sliding!
Now, do you think Caroline and Jennifer would have got to the final two if they didn't have all those saves along the way?
Probably not. Especially if they didn't have Dave and Connor there. If Dave and Connor were replaced with someone like Andy and Tommy would not have let them latch on.
Yeah.
Which, would have been...
Wait, would have? They're all Christians, so it could be like a Christian alliance.
I don't think that they probably would. Knowing how Andy and Tommy raced. At least.
Smuggling condescendingly, I agree.
Oh no, we've got Ben started on Amazing Race 19. Better we like the reference. Bill and Kathy! Yes!
Oh,
eventuality. Knew I could lull Ben into mentioning Race 19. Yes!
Anyway, we were talking about 24 at one point.
Thank you, Ben, for
I love that
reference.
TV series.
I'm actually quite proud of the fact that I just managed to engineer that.
you were trying hard.
Yeah, I was. You're right.
Too hard.
Oh.
Right, do we want to talk about Flight Time and Big Easy?
Not really, no.
No?
They were in this
suck.
season?
All these teams... they suck. All these teams suck. That's the problem.
I thought about them. Eamon, stop moving your microphone! Please!
I don't. No, I don't.
Sounds like a chopper flying overhead.
I didn't even do anything.
Hashtag Malaysian chopper.
So is that it for 24? Are there any questions for 24, Michael?
I think we need to get on to Ben talking about David Connor, actually. But
Yeah. I was
dear.
Yeah, some comments about that, Ben.
I didn't have anything planned for David Connor.
oh, I'm disappointed.
It was
Because
inappropriate
I gotta wait.
for you to have nothing to say about David Connor.
I gotta wait for you to get through the other teams first. Like how apparently Jessica and John are one of the top 11 teams in Amazing Race history.
No, Jessica Anders.
I don't get that reference, so I
Gotta
won't
stay
reply to it.
fresh.
Yeah. Coincidentally, apparently Anders is appearing in PNR, I think it is this season, Logan. Is that the PNR or Community? I can't remember.
Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. That was the last team to discuss, except for Dave and Connor.
Actually wearing a PNR
That's
t-shirt today as well.
So that's like every team this season we've spent like 30 seconds on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except the only team we haven't discussed.
Mark and Mallory.
The only team we haven't discussed is like Leo and Jamal, Afghanimals.
Yeah, I mean, they were the saving grace of the season. They gave us a team to actually...
I was thinking the exact same words.
If they hadn't have been there, I doubt it would have achieved 4.41. Which is hilarious to say. I was rooting for them towards the end.
Yep, same.
Just like in episode 2, I was rooting for Mallory to punch Mark in the face, but, didn't happen.
Is it depressing that the last 9 teams that were left before that the Afghanimals were the only bearable team left?
Yeah.
The highlight with this season is Mark and Mallory, and that's it. After that, there's really nothing to go.
I think it's blatantly obvious. Yeah, I think it's blatantly obvious after Amazing Race 24 that the producers were told never, ever, ever get complacent again. Because you will get cancelled if you do that now.
I'd say they were tied for the. I'd say they were tied for the most bearable team of the season, if only because Brenchel had a pretty big public image turnaround this season. Like,
Okay,
I know you guys aren't really fans of them, and in 3 out of 4
I am.
seasons, I'm not fans of them but like in this season in particular, I like, it's just that everything just came together, and I just wanted them to succeed and win and stuff. So like, yeah, but like, only because their opposition was just so bad, so bad. Dave and Connor, oh my god.
Ben, got a question for you. Regan, you want some cookies?
Okay.
Well, I've got to say, I'm going to say I like Ben and Connor.
Yeah, me too. That's right.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Ben, Dave and Connor, and Ben hates Dave and Connor. But you know what? I look past all the stupid things that Dave said, and take them for a good racing team.
To be fair, I quite like Dave and Connor anyway, but they weren't the old ones who called Dave old. Because in the infamous tuk-tuk task, which I do now have to put a screen cap up of it just for Logan, it was one of Leo and Jamal, I think it was Jamal, who said that Dave had an AARP card. So there was constant references, not just from Dave and Connor, about Dave being old. It's up on it a lot more when Dave said it.
Do they ever reference his Achilles?
Once or twice. It was
just,
a subtle
okay,
theme through the season.
I'll start on Dave and Connor now. Like,
there we are. Finally.
I can understand if you're a fan of. I can understand being a fan of them, like on like an objective level that we're doing here. If you're like, if they were like a well-edited team that got a lot of depth and explanation as to life, but basically we didn't get any of that for like either of their 1.5 seasons they spent on the race. We got like the first season was cancer, Achilles, out of the race. The second season was Achilles. How dare that, Rachel? You tell me I'm a 6-year-old man. That's inappropriate. Rah rah rah. I'm gonna like drag this out for the rest of the race because I'm a bitter old man who can't handle anyone doing anything against me. Rah rah rah. Anyway, it's like it's fine to like that, but I can't really see anyone. I can't like a team like that unless they have like a well fleshed out personality. I can understand I'm fine with the sub story. Like Mark and Bob, they had the sub story of season 20, but I was fine with that because they had well defined personalities and they had a bit of backstory. But basically, all we got was that I once had cancer. I once had cancer too. I once broke my Achilles tendon on the race. Rachel is a mean old. Oh, that slipped out. But
I'll apologise to any of our more sensitive viewers there for Ben's use of the word mean.
Yes.
Savage.
It's Scotland's problem. Let's blame them.
Yeah, Ben, go sit on the naughty step. I must say that that Jared's chatting to Ben seems to have worked well for us, given that Ben's just going to rant about every season. Now it's going to be hilarious. Yes.
Not every season, just the ones that deserve it, and the teams that deserve it.
We do have a listener question from Eleanor Singer, who wants to know what are your thoughts on the final four of US seasons 24 and 25. We'll get to 25 in a bit, but what are our thoughts on US season 24?
I would have liked Leo and Jamal to win.
Yeah, I would like Leo and Jamal to win too. Unfortunately, history does look at itself. So.
I mean, if we're talking about sort of image rehabilitation, Leo and Jamal are kind of the poster children for that, I think, because they were not well liked in 23, but at least by other teams, and they had a complete 180. They were probably the most popular team outside of Dave and Connor from all the other teams, and probably at least top 2 of the most popular teams of Amazing Race 24.
Well, that's a tough feat to accomplish, though.
Yeah, but at least they were actual popular teams instead of, say, bringing back the Cowboys or Margie and Luke just to wind up Ben.
Weren't you the one saying that being the most popular team in a shit season doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, true.
What does that? Does that only apply to Brenchel?
Yeah, that only applies to Brentford.
Of course it does.
Yeah, I'm talking about image rehabilitation here rather than, being the best of a bad lot, which they are. And also, funnily enough, we've still not seen Brenchel or Leo and Jamal in the poll, have we, Ben?
What poll?
Your poll. We don't have to mention the name.
Oh, right. The one that'll make no sense to people who are watching this from Reddit.
Yeah, pretty much. Ben's been running a poll on one of the fan groups that we're all a member of for ranking the teams and ranking the seasons. And Amazing Race 24 obviously came bottom because it was a crap season. And I believe we've seen 9 of the Amazing Race 24 teams so far. We're up to I'm up to number 14 with number 15 with you now, Anna, but you've posted up to 23.
I think, yeah, there's Leon Jamal. The top 3 are Leon Jamal, Brendan and Rachel, and Natalie and Nadia, which really says a lot about the season.
I love that the first boots are like top 2.
We're not even up to we're only like number 23, and we're not even like halfway through yet.
Yeah.
Isn't it such a great season? Great season.
Also, can I just give a shout out? I know it was a terrible season, but there was a great task in Seville with Rachel and the Bulls.
Yeah. That was really fun.
I was watching that last night to do screen caps for the podcast, and it did make me laugh. Mainly Rachel's reaction of, "Hey, I'm a girl, you can't push me over."
Wow.
Remember, running with the Bulls is not a woman's job, according to Rachel Riley.
Oh, I just remembered that apparently Dave and Connor are allowed to misdirect people or use race twists to hinder someone else. But if Rachel dares to use the U-turn on them, why they're awful people. They're hypocrites. It's inappropriate. Rah rah rah.
To quote one team from Amazing Race Canada, they are hypocrites. Properly French.
I don't like this season, but you already knew that.
I don't think anyone likes this season, Ben. I don't think anyone who actually recapped this season liked this season.
I don't think anyone that watched this season liked it.
So, which international version should we go for next?
Did we get everyone on the Final Four thing? I don't think we got Logan or me.
Talk about the Final Four thing then, if you want.
Yeah, Final Four of 24.
I like it. Yeah. Is it a good one? Is it really not? Where would it rank on your rankings of top 4s?
Probably down the bottom, but it had Brenchel, who I was cheering for, Leon Jamal, who I wanted to win if Brendan and Rachel didn't, Caroline and Jennifer, who I would have wanted to win just so Dave and Connor didn't win, and Dave and Connor, who are
not Ben's favourite people, shall we say?
Yeah. And Logan, I don't think we had Logan's thoughts. If he's still
awake.
I liked Leo and Jamal.
Yeah. And Connor.
The tasks were horrendous. Connor's okay. That's about it for what I think about the 24. That's for sure. I would have preferred to talk about 24 that was airing right after season 24 of Amazing Race aired, but yeah, that's about it.
I thought you liked my game look too.
All right. Well, are we done with the season?
Yep. Should we?
Can we never discuss it again? Ever?
Okay.
Yeah. Can we move that season, please?
We can make the occasional reference to it when we rag on 26, but other than that, I think 24 is officially in the books now. Do we want to talk about Canada or Australia next?
Which one had first?
Canada.
Let's go Canada.
Do Canada.
Oh, Canada. So, proving once and for all that the best foreign editions of popular US versions shows were always the second season. Hey, Star Australia 2. Hey, Big Brother Canada 2. Amazing Race Canada came in and blew all misgivings away with an energetic cast, finally leaving Canada, unique casting choices, and overall just a fantastic season that still managed to be great, despite the leftover twists from the ailing US version of Time. keep in mind Amazing Race 24 had just finished airing. It holds some of the most popular teams ever and came a predictable number 2 to Amazing Race 25's number 1. 8.69 out of 10. So,
Right.
should we start with the teams or the legs? I know which one I want to start with because my love of a particular team is quite well documented.
We'll save them for last, Michael.
No, there's one team we have to
Charlotte
save
and
for
Nabila.
last. Yeah, we have to save a particular team for last, Logan, and you know why.
Your treat for getting through.
There's
We
one
all know
team-
about your love of Charlotte and Nabila, Mike.
There is one team who we need to forger about.
All right, go.
Yes.
Can we see
Can we what, Logan?
Shala's injury? Do we have that screen?
I don't actually. Or do I? I might be able to press it actually. I'll see if I've got it screen capped. Talk amongst yourselves while I check my my files.
So this is really good, wasn't it? Really good.
No, I've not got it. No. I do have everyone's favourite screen cap from the premiere of Amazing Race Canada 2, though. Which is, of course, #Olympian Buke. Yay! Because if there's anything we wanted to see again, it's an Olympian puking.
Yes,
Alright, let's
Olympian
just
vomit.
talk
How can I forget?
See, at least with Canada, I could just look through what I actually screen cap when we were podcasting about it,
Yes.
and then just put it into overlays when it made me laugh again. Which is what I
She
did.
threw up 17
Didn't she throw up on
So
her
can
her way down?
So
times. 17 times. That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure she actually threw up when skydiving, which is not going to be an appealing thing.
Did she have to do her makeup again afterwards when she got back on the ground, I'm wondering?
I'm pretty certain, actually, yeah.
I mean, how many times did I talk about the amount of eye makeup she had on? It was just incredible.
Surprisingly, I don't actually have any other screen cap of Natalie and Megan lined up than Olympian Puke. Because there really isn't much to talk about with them apart from, yay, Olympics. This is the semi-finals. This is like being in the gold medal match.
The 5-hole.
The
Come on
5-hole,
now.
which
And
is classic.
they're actually like my
Eiffel and
favorite. They're
cheese.
like my favorite non-Suki and Jinder team of the season, actually. Like, it's probably like a huge toss-up between Suki and Jinder, Natalie and Megan, I did it. Back off. Alain Cormac and Nicole, and Charlotte and Nabila as my five teams of the season.
I completely
And
forgot
like
how...
Pierre and Michelle?
We forgé about them already, Michelle.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot how much I loved doing. Just as I'd forgotten how much I enjoyed Kelly and Hennedy with Major Ross Australia versus New Zealand. Kelly and Hennedy. I still don't know why Grant went South African, and it amuses me to this day. And I might have deliberately watched a couple of their placements when doing the screen caps yesterday just to hear Grant say the words Kelly and Hennedy. Okay, a couple of times.
Maybe he's trying to say Sean Hannity.
But obviously,
Screwed up.
Obviously, Charlotte and Nabila are the most fully fledged female team we have ever seen. They were the people's champions and were robbed very early. Said nobody ever.
I've got to disagree with that. I'm gonna go. Oh, Charlie Horse. I can't do it anymore. Sorry.
And we're being horrible about Charlotte and Nabila again. Just like old times. I think...
Can I provide a rebuttal to the Natalie and Megan thing?
Yeah, go on.
I think it's like a pretty huge discredit to like I think it's like a pretty huge discredit to like just look at the fact that they won like 8 legs, 7 legs was it? Which one was it?
7 it was.
Yeah, I think it's pretty huge discredit to like just look at them and think, oh, they won a lot of records, they're dominant and boring, because like they had like a lot of character moments. They like fought a lot between each other. They like I remember they like there was a few breakdown. I know I'm trying to defend them. I'm not doing a very good job of it. But, like they weren't a lot. Okay, whatever that sound was. They were a lot better than you're giving them credit for. Like I know I wasn't around to like take notes during the season and just like rattle off Natalie and Megan moments off the top of my head like I could Suki and Jinder. But still, I think they're a hugely entertaining team that I really really wanted to see win over the teams that ended up in the final three with them.
I think Natalie and Megan probably have the least screen caps of any team from me, purely because they were just.
Yeah, but bias against them.
They were just too dominant in a way. But the big asterisk for me with their placement or their number of leg wins is the fact that the producers actively recruited a Olympian team and didn't realise that would probably make them win a lot. They wanted.
They did in the US one. Andy and Tommy.
Yeah, but they weren't proper Olympians.
Oh.
Thank you.
Anyway, back to Amazing Race Season 19. Thanks, man. Olympian Klaxon.
Oh my gosh.
Fun fact.
Did they find out that the Olympics isn't presided over by Jesus and quit at the last minute?
Fun fact, I am seeing how many times I can get the Bill and Kathy screen cap in here, purely to see how many times it'll come up on the recommended thumbnail for the video.
Well, we all have our fetishes.
But yeah, they deliberately recruited a team of Canadian Olympians to capitalise on the Sochi Olympics, and then thought, oh, this isn't going to end badly. They're not going to win a lot of legs. And they ended up winning.
The only stipulation is that one of them had to have a broken hand.
Yeah, and then they had to mention it almost as much as Dave mentioned his Achilles.
No, they didn't.
They did in 24. Dave's Achilles actually wasn't mentioned as much as you remember it being.
No, it was. It was mentioned more than the hand.
So, Mickey and Pete going trouserless were our winners.
Boo. I would have wanted to say Ryan and Rob win more than them.
Talking of Ryan and Rob, Logan and I have seen their bar.
Yes, we walked by their bar in Vancouver.
Because it was about 3
Not a
doors
whole lot
down
going on there.
one of the hotels. And that was a nice surprise because I did Google it beforehand. Bing, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Saving
Did you see Tar Canada, Eamon?
Eamon's got an issue.
Yeah.
Eamon, if you're staying, talk. If not, don't.
Do you just think Mickey and Pete are like a Canadian version of the American? God, what was I going to say?
BJ and Tyler? Hippies?
Yeah.
But I do think Picky and Meat are the Canadian version of BJ and Tyler, but I think they were probably less vilified than BJ and Tyler were.
Yeah, them.
That is true. There is a very polarizing reaction to the hippies.
Whereas I
prefer BJ and Tyler from like a television perspective, but I reckon Mickey and Pete would be cool to hang out with. So
I think
balances out.
I think Mickey and Pete were probably a lot more popular than with casual fans. Not with Ben, obviously, but
it's not that I hate them. It's just that they're like the one team in the final 6 I didn't want to win.
So you wanted the Forgés to win over that?
I wouldn't have minded.
That would have been a hilarious thing because John would have had to try and do a match out with them at the end.
Next exit, thank you, merci, we won, yeah.
It's nice!
That's boring. That's Kazakhstan or whatever.
Kazakhstan,
It's nowhere,
Quebec.
it's nowhere near.
Same
It's
thing.
not even near a country settled by France.
But, basically the same place. Yes. What? One's a place hated by most of the countries, and the other one is Kazakhstan. Uh, so
Can we just take a second to express how bad we feel about Eamon's microphone troubles this evening? He has just left us.
yeah, well
I just saw.
he did say on the group chat, guys, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Something is up. So
Oh, he'll be
Oh.
back then.
yeah, I wasn't just being rude to him by saying if you're going to talk, stay. Otherwise, don't.
I thought he left because of that.
You try to spin that whatever you want, Michael. We're on to you.
He did say it about 10 seconds, or about a minute probably before I said that to him.
Chat room manipulation.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh,
It was the editing.
So we also had Canadian Team Guido, or Rex and Bob, and just like Team Guido,
Yeah.
they're quite active on Twitter.
I'd
Although-
probably say they like the not necessarily the Canadian team where like I'd say the Canadian Tom and Terry,
Yeah,
or maybe a cross between both of them.
well, they got the Guido intro of posing with their dog drinking wine,
Hmm.
so that's obviously what they were pitching them as.
And then the second leg happened.
Can we just talk about how bullshit that was? Poor Sean. Lasted,
So
Are you
odd to
talking
see.
about-
but
It's so odd to see an injury mixed with
I mean, we had that.
double quitting in LA. So you feel bad for one guy, and then you just want to just hate the other team that quit everything in the same round. Michael Supin fell in the fire, and Janu quit in the same episode of Survivor. It's just something that would have very extreme reactions.
We seriously have not seen a team double quit in a leg for a long while, if ever.
Did they quit though?
Well, Rex and Bob did, yeah.
Oh, right, double quit. Yeah.
They quit two
Yeah,
tasks. Two
They
tasks.
quit the surfing and the roadblock because they couldn't be arsed.
Well, Rachel and Dave completed a leg without ever completing the detour or the roadblock.
Yeah, that was because of the express pass and, if I remember rightly, using up all the bottles, which got them a penalty. They didn't quit the task with the express pass; they just used the express pass.
I didn't say they quit. I just said they went through
Oh,
an
yeah.
entire leg without completing a task.
Yeah, it was quite impressive.
Hmm.
So who haven't we talked about yet? Oh yeah, Cormac and Nicole.
Are they still creepy, Michael?
Yes, they are still creepy. The creepy workouts are still creepy. Didn't Nicole retweet us saying she's creepy? Or they're creepy? I'm
I
pretty
thought she
sure-
Should be.
retweeted
We got a lot of
Logan saying something.
retweets from other Canadians that season. I
Yeah.
did anyways.
Yeah, I didn't.
I
send
thought
it.
she retweeted Logan's tweet about her being in a threesome with Mickey and Pete.
Yes,
Yes, she did. She
And in fact,
thought that was hilarious. She thought it was a thing to discuss on social media.
I do have it as a note.
Just like Mickey and Pete as well.
I do have a note for Mickey and Pete that is simply they were in relationships with both Nicole and Wanty at one point. Because in the Whiskey Dicks task, they did say, well, whichever one of them it was who did the roadblock said, "Sorry girls, we got to run. We got to go meet our boyfriend, John Montgomery." Fact. Also, I'm very surprised we've not made a immature Whiskey Dicks reference yet. I'm quite disappointed in us.
Low hanging fruit.
I was looking through my notes for
Right.
from Canada and simply saw in quotes Whiskey Dicks snigger. Nothing more.
Is that the Winnipeg
Yes.
club where they did the
It is
where they
indeed.
did the rock
It
team
actually-
task with Rex having?
Yeah, it actually is even funnier given that Stephen Lynch did a song called Whiskey Dick that is, as it sounds. It's the first song from his musical Steve! Exclamation point.
Mm-hmm.
Who else haven't we talked about?
Laura and Jackie.
Yeah.
I completely forgot
Moving
about
on.
I don't even remember them.
every other team came in. Laura and Jackie was the only team that
I'm
Are they
just
the
wasn't
purple
coming
ones?
to mind at all.
Seriously.
I am pretty sure that Laura and Jackie are the only team in my notes where I don't actually have anything on them because they didn't do anything. Even in their elimination leg, it's just like, oh,
They're
Master Chef, yay.
Yeah, but that was
Vegetarians like me,
that was-
and they ignored them completely at the halfway point.
They are purple Laura and Jackie.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't remember them at all. Even looking at them, I don't remember them.
Yeah, fun fact, Jackie is actually the one that Jared from Amazing Race Australia versus New Zealand modelled his look up.
Nah, she's too butch. She's too butch for that.
And I do green cap that is simply labelled Butch. I'm just going to leave those other people on the screen.
The one on the right needs a bit of pressed powder and some makeup.
So I think we talked about all the teams from Amazing Race Canada.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
Oh, we foreshadowed one, didn't we?
No, you forgot. What, you really forgot you haven't discussed them yet?
Thank you for setting me
Put it
up.
on the screen.
Suki and Jinder, best team ever. Let's see, what screen caps do I have of them? Oh, just the
Well,
important
probably a million.
just the important one made into the overlay for this
Here
show.
we go.
The naked one.
Have your parents found your scrapbook
Logan, it's not a scrapbook.
of Suki and Jin?
Yeah, it's not a scrapbook, it's a shrine.
Are they your favourite team of all Amazing Races?
They're up there. For pure, unintentional hilarity, they are up there.
Which is actually
Because they have no concept of which way is downstream or upstream. They are the only team ever to block the exit to a start line. They went
Nicholas and
naked
Donald?
as siblings on Jinder's birthday.
Yeah, I was about to say Nicholas and Donald Amazing Race 12 at the Playboy Mansion there, where they blocked the
Oh
entrance.
yeah, I forgot about them. They don't matter. Okay, they're the only recent team to block a start line. They were just so unintentionally hilarious. Oh yeah, and pulling a Fran and Barry in Hong Kong as well. I forgot about them. I
How
haven't got
did
to
Donald
that.
lead all the other teams to a sprint to the front car at the starting line in Amazing Race 12?
Well, the thing is, they were so underrated with the other teams.
The guy is 69 years old.
But both Nick,
Suki,
yeah,
who's
both.
69 years old? Jinder? Suki?
Oh yeah, and it's going down
Oh.
Suki and Jinder. It's going down Suki and Jinder.
Okay then.
For that weird relationship they had with one of the producers, now that was creepy. And that producer's been mysteriously disappeared. Are we allowed to tell that story, Michael?
Yes, we are, because it's amazing. A couple of weeks before I went to Canada, I ended up somehow getting into a conversation on Facebook about Amazing Race Canada with one of the editors. And it might have even been the week of the fast forward where Suki and Jinder went naked with each other. And he was telling me how the editor's office have a lot of uncensored pictures of that task. Which all creepy. And then
he got fired.
a couple of days later, he mysteriously disappeared from Facebook, and I'm assuming he got fired. So, yatncast getting editors fired since 2014.
At least we accomplished one thing this year.
Yeah, true. Seeking Gender, legendary team. In summary.
In summary, the season was awesome except when they didn't win.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're the only team that in my notes I've ever written last and bullshit. Because that leg was hella linear.
I think it would have been better if they went more places overseas, but otherwise it was good.
I think, even if they stick to this model of 2/3 in Canada, 1/3 abroad, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a UK leg this time, at least.
Yeah.
Because Canada does have very strong links to the UK.
They should come to Australia. It would take them so long to get here.
Yeah, I mean, even if they just stuck to Commonwealth countries now, they don't need visas, so they can surprise them with them. Could have the UK, could have Australia, could have New Zealand. And they would almost certainly send them to Queenstown to do various extreme sports if they went to New Zealand.
Sounds like a good plan for the future.
That should be a Major Race Canada producer.
It would suck if they go back to being more domestic for the third season. That would be a huge mistake.
How much more of Canada can they really show?
I think it is going to
They've gone to every single province and territory, and some of the provinces have already had 4 legs there. So they pretty much, there's only about 2 or 3 cities I could think of at the end of the second season that they haven't visited within Canada yet.
I think we're probably going to see them go full international either this year or next year. Because they'll almost certainly still be the highest rated Canadian show again.
Yeah, as many people were watching Tar Canada as the number of people watching Amazing Race 24. Those numbers.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the same amount as in Canada as it was in the US, or?
Yeah, like for Amazing Race 24, there was about, I think, or maybe it was Amazing Race 25, where there was about 5.5 million Americans watching. But when Tar Canada 2 was airing here in Canada, there was 3.5 million Canadians watching it. And considering the States has 10 times more people living there compared to Canada, that is a huge deal.
They should really just import all US reality shows over to Canada, right? Like Big Brother was good, Amazing Race was good. I heard The Bachelor was good. Still make Survivor, so that can be good too.
I'm still waiting on
I must admit,
Survivor.
I'm slightly worried about Big Brother Canada 3 because Big Brother Canada 2 was amazing. They've got big shoes to fill. Like worryingly big shoes.
Good TV? Is that what they want? Good TV?
They better find some good TV.
But by week 4 or so, they always manage to figure out the direction they want the season to go, and then rig it accordingly, which is good rigging though. I can't imagine a season where the final 6 is Rochelle in the Big 5, and then Rochelle goes in 5th or 6th. And then, for some reason, Kenny and Sarah are the top 2, and Kenny wins.
Yeah, but we were cruelly robbed of Ica and Ica and everybody teaming up, though, weren't we? Imagine if Ica was top 5.
I think Ica, in the grand scheme of Big Brother Canada 2, stands good as a necessary early sacrifice sort of thing. Because she was the one who set the entire. She was the one who set her shredding the letters set the entire thing in motion, set the entire change of the house in motion that was accompanied by the Canada having head of household. So I reckon without if I would gladly give up Ica to have what we got for the season.
Yeah, I mean, Ica was a legendary character, and when they inevitably do Big Brother Canada All Stars, she will be back. I guarantee it. And if for nothing else, to make her do a lesser training task again.
I liked how she was openly disrespectful to Peter's face when he was doing the interviews.
In the same way that Katie Hopkins was openly disrespectful to Big Brother last night, which is hilarious. And made me laugh a lot because she was just going, no, I'm not going to follow your rules.
But that's a subject for another podcast.
You know what? The one thing that really annoys me about Amazing Race Canada, despite staying within the same country,
What's that?
it's hearing nonstop after 2 seasons of which teams could be 2 seasons into the freaking Canadian series here. Can we at least wait at least 2 more before we?
Well, as I did point out during the Canadian podcast, as far as I know, Canada has got the license for at least 5 seasons. So it's very likely that we will see 4 Canadian seasons and then an All-Stars unless they decide to, well, when they decide to pick up the license again and then delay it.
But you can have a license, but you don't necessarily have to make seasons, as we've seen over here.
As we've seen in France as well, because France was actually purchased as 2 seasons. And we've not seen...
that never happened.
Yeah, we've only seen 1 of them. But my experience of Amazing Race France
Great
is
success.
as well. Yes. That was actually quite a good season, Amazing Race France as well. But I mean, with all the prizes that Amazing Race Canada was giving out, with the exception, of course, the last one, were like international flights. Because we had any South American destination, Hong Kong, China, Tokyo, any Sun destination, Mexico, Europe twice, Italy, and then a Canada one, which...
But did they get a Snapple?
is a bit... No, they didn't. I'm really disappointed I'm
I
not
think
getting
not.
Mallory's face screen capture.
Exactly.
As soon as Logan covers it,
Or a snap leg.
I'll put it into an overlay.
So is that all we've got to discuss about the season?
Yeah, well, we've not done the legs, really. We just talked about how awesome the teams were.
Can we just ignore the maritime legs, including a trip to Dairy Queen of all things?
I do have in my notes, legs at 10 and 11 after the roadblock in Prince Edward Island were let down, especially after Montreal.
At least John fit in with the gingers and
Hashtag Suki and Ginger.
Prince Edward Island there with Grills.
Yeah, hashtag Suki and Ginger.
I liked a lot of the early legs. Like the first leg was, especially coming off 24,
Yep.
that was pretty
Suki.
amazing. How everyone was high energy, loved the race. Even Charlotte and Nabila, like they had the most miserable time ever, but like they still managed to be wildly entertaining and pretty enthusiastic for a team that was destined to come last in the first leg. But still,
And can I just point out, our most accurate prediction of any season was Charlotte and Nabila going out first. We said that they would be number 1 out, and we were correct.
yeah, but we've only done 4 predictions.
And we didn't really waver from that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've ever been as brutally accurate as with Charlotte and Nabila. Hello again, Eamon, by the way.
Hello, welcome back.
Oh no!
I think me
Tom.
and Michelle predicted the final 3, didn't we? For Amazing Race Australia.
For who? The models?
I don't
We
think...
predicted like who the final 3 would be. Like I think we had
Yeah.
Sally and Tyson in there. We had Daniel and Ryan in there. And I think we were tossed between. Actually, I'm not sure what our predictions were. We'll have to go back.
I don't remember you getting Ashley and Jared as part of the final 3. I think you got the other 2.
Yeah, we
I
got
think
the
we
other
had
2. We
Elizabeth
didn't know who the third was.
I think we had Elizabeth Todd, and we might have had Emily and Jono in there somewhere. I can't remember what exactly our predictions were, but like, yeah.
Elizabeth and Todd. I can't wait to talk about them.
So is there much to discuss about the Canada legs? Because we know they're awesome. They went to how many countries did they go to besides Canada?
2. Well, kind of. 2.5. Depends whether
Hong
you
Kong,
count.
Macau, and France.
Yeah, depends whether you count Hong Kong as a separate country like I do, or whether you count it as part of China. Because technically, it's a constituent country of China, in the same way that
Mm-hmm.
you get
Fair
like
enough.
Northern Ireland being. No, sorry, it's an overseas. I can't remember the exact term. I think it's overseas territory. I'll have to Google it.
I'm glad we got to see Macau Tower
Yeah, as I
in
did
Amazing Race Canada. Seen for Amazing Race history.
as I did put in my my notes, the most visited route marker of any Amazing Race ever. I think it's got to be up there.
What about the Marina Bay Sands Resort?
I think Macau Tower's been in more seasons or had more route markers than Marina Bay Sands.
Okay.
Hong Kong is a special administrative region of China, by the way. So technically it's a separate country, but owned by China. Fact. So, shall we move on
Hence
to
the protests.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the glorious Australia 3?
Oh, yes.
Hello, Eamon.
Or we can move on to the slightly
Hey,
above
man.
average Australia 3.
Yeah. It's time to talk to Australians.
Yeah.
I'm here.
We brought you back
Just
for
in
Australia.
time.
Just in time.
So to quote Ben, coming 2 years off a season considered by many to be a magnus opus tar season, Season 3 of the Australian tar series was somewhat of a letdown. Once again, there were great characters and it became the first foreign version of Amazing Race to visit every inhabitable continent and the first overall since Season 5 of the US version, but the season overall was hampered by a portal boot order, simple tasks with no difficulty curve, all the most interesting and biggest characters turning out to be from New Zealand, with all gone before the final 3, and great annoyance of a team who stuck around the entire race. And bear in mind, this was written before Jared started attacking Ben. Considered good by most viewers, it did place a whole 3.4 points ahead of All Stars. It was not as good as the previous season, 8 out of 10. I love how...
That was like really fast introductions, and then I was like, okay.
Well, to be fair, you should... Yeah, to be fair, if you were watching Amazing Race 24/7, you probably would have read that about a week ago, Eamon, so...
I'm sorry, I didn't. Sorry about that.
Apologise to Ben. He wrote it. I just copied and pasted it a couple of days ago.
Anyone wants peanuts? I have some peanuts over here. I don't want. I was so hungry. I need to eat peanuts.
You were so hungry.
I just got back from work.
Okay.
And we're mocking gaming again.
So, Michelle, I'm not sure what the situation between you is, but are you able to discuss like a bunch of the stuff that, like production stuff that went on before the season that we didn't really discuss in the previous podcast?
Okay. Well, do you want to know what happened with casting and why it was delayed 2 years and all that sort of stuff?
All the juicy
No, we
stuff.
want to know, Michelle. We want to know why are you not in this season? Like,
Why I'm not in this season? Because, well, you know what? I don't know whether I could have been in this season. It changed production people, and what Active was going to initially do it, and then Channel 7 I don't think wanted to go with Active because it's quite a big production and it's quite expensive, and I think Channel 7 wanted to try it in-house. And so all the people they had, put down for being maybe good for the race, they were all contacted again when they did it the second time, when 7 did it. So 7 casting contacted those people again and asked them if they wanted to update their original application from a year and a half before, or just keep it as it is. So, you know what, I think because they changed it and went to 5 teams from New Zealand, 5 teams from Australia, it narrowed down the field with Australia significantly and who they could have. And I think they just wanted something that would be cheaper and could share the cost with New Zealand, which they did. And it was just easier for Channel 7 to run with that than to run with Active, which is a pity because Active won the International Emmy for Season 2. They're just so professional. They know what works and what doesn't. And they've done a lot of the the task before on the Asian seasons. So it's a bit frustrating that they weren't allowed to do season 3. And if there is another season, hopefully they get to take a part in it this time.
Probably the best thing that could have possibly happened for Amazing Race Australia 3 was Big Adventure sucking so much. Because if I'm not mistaken, Big Adventure went very, very much lower than Australia 3 did.
They did. I think they had the way it was told to people, it was going to be like a cross between Survivor and some other adventure show, but it didn't hold her evicted or sent off the island. It wasn't very fair, and the public saw that and didn't take to it.
Yeah, more importantly,
really
they didn't actually tell us what was going to be happening. They were like, "Oh, you've got to watch to find out the rules," but why? Why not tell us the rules and make us interested?
And then it was strange that one of the rules changed, and it felt like they were trying to keep somebody in, so they changed the rules just for that week. So that was just really bizarre. And having that fail is good because that was going to come back because it's a lot cheaper to produce than Amazing Race. But the big problem with Channel 7 is that they don't put it on at the right time. Season 2 and Season 1 they had on at an earlier time slot. It rated really well. It got 1 million viewers, which is the big number over here that you should have for a high rating show. And they kept putting it on later, and the viewers diminish, and they don't. Well, maybe they do understand, but I don't think they understand what they're doing. They're just wrecking the show by putting it on so late.
Basically, they had no faith in their show doing well, so they basically tried to move it around as much as possible to avoid going against anything.
Also, in doing double episodes, we missed getting to see Grant Bowler stroke a cheetah, which is only aired in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah, at the start, you know how they merged a couple of the episodes and made them 2 hour ones? At the start of the first Russia leg, when that aired in New Zealand, Grant introduced the Nankuza watering hole, but he was stroking a cheetah cub at the time.
Oh,
It's like it's the most badass introduction to a pit star ever, and they decided to not air it in Australia. I wish I could find it and have it screen capped actually, but I think it was posted on Reddit actually. It's like a separate 1.5-minute video of the introduction to the Nankuza watering hole. I'll see if I can dig it out.
Is it on Netflix Premium Gold Plus by any chance?
No, that's just the episode with Tim and TJ having to climb a slippery pole.
I see.
Premium, whatever.
Eamon does not understand that.
It was so funny that everybody falls into that. Like,
yeah, it was.
It was really crazy.
Oh,
Greatest hoax ever.
yeah. we are going to have to top that in 2015, and I don't know how. Go on.
Probably can't. Anyway, what I also have to add is like the fact that they themed it Australia versus New Zealand was like that was pretty detrimental to itself because like, well, reality television shows like Amazing Race, Big Brother, Survivor, they're all about those big three are the one where you basically take a bunch of teams that represent people from walks of life. But like if you're doing a themed Australia, all you're doing is basically getting a bunch of teams from Australia that people think about Australians, and bunch of teams from New Zealanders that people think about New Zealanders.
Like my legs.
Know the difference.
My legs.
Because like what else was there? So, because like it's how many like I'm trying to think of the right words for this, but how many not white, not straight people have been cast on Amazing Race Australia? Out of the out of the like 60, how many people have been cast from Australia or New Zealand?
Well, 20,000 went for the I think season 2 or season 3.
No, I meant how many have been cast on the show? How many raced? How many people have raced in Australia?
11 and 11, 22, 27.
Yeah, from Australia, 27 teams.
27 teams.
So 54.
So 60 plus New Zealand as well, because it's
Yeah,
our season, their
so
our country,
64
our
in
season.
total.
They're just so out of 64 of them, how many you didn't really get that. You got like a sort of minor cross section of people, but it's sort of like it wasn't really that adventurous as it could have been. And with this season, it was even less adventurous because you got like probably the most diverse person in the season was Sally, because But how many as the token gay person of this podcast, I just want to point out how many gay people were cast in Amazing Race Canada season 2.
About 4.
7.
7 was it? Bloody hell! Oh yeah,
Laura and Jackie, Rex and Bob, Ryan and Rob, and the jury's still out on Cormac.
6.5. 6.5.
And compare that to like even Amazing Race Asia casted a gay team like twice. Like there's Howard and Saran and what's the face in Fuzzy?
AD and Fuzzy.
Yeah, AD and Fuzzy. Like compared to Australia, where there's been like none really at all.
Logan, have you worked out whether what gender AD and Fuzzy are yet?
Oh, that's a topic for another. I'm still embarrassed about that to this day.
I told you.
One of my favourite running jokes from Logan's blogs about that season.
It's just like in modern day Australian television, there is not really that much representation for say a 18-year-old gay boy who lives in Lismore, but it's there have been five. I'm probably sure about 5 gay people who have been cast on Big Brother since it got revived, and one of them was a huge "See you next Tuesday." Oh god. One of them was an this doughy man child. The other was a whiny quitter. One of them was Tully, which Michelle knows. Me and Michelle we experienced, so you don't need to experience her. And then there was Jason, who has basically got the most one-dimensional edit ever. So it's like, and then it's like to have that come from a series in a country like. I don't know if you know this, but we were Australia was like the first country in the world to ever have like a gay rights movement. I think it was like really early on, way before the US or the UK did anything about it. Because we had all this stuff in Brisbane about and then to have to be in 2015 or 2014 and to have an entire demographic of people who live in Australia who are there ever present ignored is just sort of like. Well, why do I want to watch you if you're not gonna represent me?
Most importantly, Ben, Australia did have the first ever ever English language season of The Mole.
True. I discovered that recently. I discover that recently. And it's like, it's pretty awesome that we were the first. We predated Survivor Borneo. That's how early we were.
And
yeah.
Yeah, and yet they so badly screwed up their revival of The Mole.
Yeah.
Still annoyed about that. Still absolutely debating whether that person was the mole or not. Because I don't think they were.
We need a new free-to-air channel that that's not run by that's not held hostage by My Kitchen Rules. It doesn't suck like 9 does, and it's not run by Gina Reinhardt like 10 is. So these words mean nothing to you if you're not Australian. So
yeah, that was all pretty much gibberish.
My legs. So should we actually talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about the season now. Let's not talk about me, whining about how much Australia sucks at casting people.
So,
Let's talk about the
I like
legs. Let's talk
Jono.
about Emily and Jono.
No, I
Like,
mean, yeah.
yeah,
Emily and
let's,
Jono.
to quote
My favorite
Jono,
ever.
let's talk about the leaks. So, firstly, the good points. All 6 inhabitable continents were visited, the welcome return of the salvage pass, and actually in an appropriate place. A fast bowler that didn't guarantee a leg win. An intersection that is as random as the previous Australian ones. Not having a guaranteed non-elimination as the first leg, which probably quite pleased Logan, and most of the Kiwi teams. There were all the positives. Sadly, Australia 3 does have a couple of negatives.
like the really, really bad boot order.
Like the really, really bad boot order. Like the fact that we were robbed of Elizabeth and Todd.
Yes, God.
Oh,
She
yeah.
was
With both
She
her
was an
cunning
astronaut.
and treachery.
An astronaut. She
Can
went
I
to the
just-
moon, by the way.
Yeah, can I just point out, both of those screen caps are from episode 1, not even from their boot episode.
Yeah, in that
I
boot
like
episode,
how she
they went
walked there.
into overdrive. It's like everyone got so paranoid about them. It was hilarious. We can't trust that Elizabeth. She's treacherous. She's old or whatever.
Old age and treachery will always win out, Ben.
Yeah, but really, if the others are so stupid to think that she went to the moon twice, they deserve to think she's treacherous. Like, really, it's ridiculous.
Taxi
best
driver, you know.
The best
Maybe
thing
she
is-
just
Go on.
was in the honneymoon, was quoting the honeymooners.
Yeah.
My
went to the
favourite thing
moon.
about this
And
whole...
she's on her third husband like Missy.
That's a sticky situation.
Oh.
The best thing about this whole Elizabeth thing is that the first team that we see saying, "Oh, Elizabeth went to the moon," is Carla and Harry, the team that is basically our one last hope of not having a dull final 3. Are the first team that say, "Oh, Elizabeth went to the moon. She was one of the first female astronauts."
Ugh.
Oh,
It must be a cultural thing because, like, this is going into a completely different reality show that I doubt any of you have watched. But when you don't really ever see Australians on like other reality shows. It's not like something people clamour for. Oh, we want to see Australians on a US TV show, but like on the rare instances that happen, it's pretty obvious that there is a lot of cultural difference because Australian sense of humor in general are very like deadpan and sarcastic. Because because you can have RuPaul's Drag Race season 6. Courtney Act, she was a Australian superstar. She was on the season, and then she got she said a bunch of things that I laugh at. I think of Michelle Heather and she'd laugh at it too. But like everyone took offense at, oh, how could she say that? That's so rude. And it's like it's just. But she was obviously just being sarcastic, but nobody picked up on it because it's just like a cultural thing where people don't really get that Australian humor is heavily bridled in like sarcasm and basically just flat out insults that aren't actually meaning anything. So like
I think that sarcasm...
jokes that we tell like the I'm kidding after the I'm kidding is implied.
Yeah, I think sarcasm is quite a British trait that Australia's inherited. Because we are quite a sarcastic nation as well.
Wow.
Whereas the Americans probably aren't.
Mm-hmm.
From my experience of them. So the two major negative points that I have about this season. Number 1, the speed bump. Why? Why not just keep
Hold on.
it?
Mike,
I
hold
hate
on.
the speed bump. I hate it.
Mike,
What?
hold on.
I hate it because it gave more screen time to Josh and Jared. Oh, go Eamon, sorry.
Yeah. When I look at the picture that you put on the screen, it's like Todd looks like Ed Sheeran.
yeah.
That's all. That's all.
Who?
That's all I want to say.
Eamon, thank you for thinking out loud.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that right now. Random stuff. Okay, continue.
But with the CD up there, please don't challenge me on Ed Sheeran references.
Oh.
Oh, Ed Sheeran, okay.
Yeah. So number one, why the speed bump? Why? Why?
Why not just eliminate
What
them?
was the speed
The speed bump was tying a tie.
jump again?
It is probably, in my opinion, the second most pointless speed bump. Any guesses on the first?
Sitting on a nice chair?
No, that's up there. There's
Serving tea?
a better one though.
Sonobus?
No, the soda bus was fun. It was, of course, untying a knot.
I'm telling you nuts.
Why are they there again?
Because they were the recipients of that speed bump.
Oh God!
You
I
said
don't
that
remember.
Come on, guys! I'm trying to bait you into mentioning Bill and Kathy again.
you set up your own. You set up your speed bump. You talked about the speed bump, said which one was worse. Then you mentioned the untying a knot and Bill and Kathy.
Yeah.
Well, look, okay. If we talk about Bill and Kathy,
You're just
they were
intentionally.
bodybuilders. Let's move on to Sally and Tyson, who are also bodybuilders.
Oh yeah, bodybuilders always getting pissed. Like pissed.
But bodybuilders.
Always needing to go to the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Sally
Always
just looking
fucking-
dejected on the stairs.
Luckily, at 3 below Celsius weather, otherwise it would have frozen.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention that he shouldn't have gone outside in Russia because, quite dangerous, as we found out on #Malaysian Asks.
Yeah. What? It's not the time yet.
You need a Malaysian ask to let you know that Russia was dangerous?
No, the first ever Malaysian Asks was Eamon asking whether your piss freezes at minus 40 degrees C.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like. Well, it's a legit question,
wouldn't do it outside, I don't
It is.
think. I think try and find somewhere. He's a bit private like that, Tyson.
Also,
No, well, wait, Michelle, because you know why he's a little bit private. Because he's a bodybuilder. You know what they say about bodybuilders.
You're about to
No.
tell me.
Okay, so I'm not going to say that here, but that was yeah.
look, Ben's basically said the worst word in the English language.
No.
I don't think anything's out of the question today.
Like I
Just
hope
slip
you
down.
understand what I'm trying to say.
I'll spell that out next time. I won't say it.
No, don't say anything.
I said I won't say it.
Uh,
Scared of you already.
we do have an Amazing Race Australia related question from Linda as well.
Yeah.
When I just find it, I just need to load it up.
Imagine if Tyson had a bathroom break in a really, really serious location, maybe
Auschwitz?
like the Sphinx in Egypt, if he suddenly had to go to the bathroom there. That would be pretty offensive. And
I love that Ben's first reaction to a really serious location
Everyone
is
make it
Tyson
TV.
pissing in Auschwitz.
All right, are you going to read the question, Michael?
I am, yes. Speaking of underwear, if you were a contestant, would you wear comfy undies or fancy ones like the girls from Amazing Race Australia War? I'm thinking of the challenge where the teams were in Russia and had to fill a big tub with water and build a fire and then strip down and sit in the hot tub. Both girls had frilly little underwear, which I think must have been very uncomfortable. Lol.
Okay, all right. Well, I think this is an answer for me because I think all you guys would probably have
Yeah,
boxes on or something.
Speaking personally, I would wear skimpy.
Well, look, okay, all right. I don't wear like normal undies. I wear G-strings. So when I do my
Say that again. Say that again.
no, stop. When I do my racing in Sydney and I have to. Oh, would you shut up? Listen, when I do my races in Sydney,
I'm just thinking like this.
Glad to hear that Australia was so high here.
Hey, man, I'm going to mute you.
Right.
Okay. All right. Maturity would be good. Okay. So I take along like some bike pants, and I wear bike pants underneath because I never wear just that to go into the water. So to answer Linda's question, I would always have a little pair of bike pants in my bag or something that I'd put on over the top. Or I'd have my swimmers on all day. But being in Russia, you probably wouldn't have your swimmers on. So, yeah.
And now I have to hope that Eamon has a Malaysian ass question about underwear.
Nah, it's probably going to offend Michelle. Nah,
Oh, come on, offending's what we do.
nah, just like, what kind of G-string do you wear?
What do you mean? Fine. Fine.
Oh, Eamon, I've missed you.
Look at Ben's face. Yeah, okay.
Do you have a...
So I
no,
answered
just
Linda there.
forget about
There
that. I need my peanuts. Anyone want?
So what you're saying is practical over appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, now that we're back on topic to Amazing Race Australia and underwear, my other negative, double express pass. Why?
It's fine.
Because everyone else is doing it.
I've gone on record with Canada and Amazing Race 24 of hating this twist. I hate it. It's pointless. It adds nothing to the viewers and merely saves Caroline and Jennifer.
Yeah, but like it paid immediate dividends the first time in the show, so I understand why they want to keep it.
Yeah, do it as a one-off. Keep them on their toes. Keep adding different twists as the first leg prize.
Yeah, but they obviously saw more potential in it, like in the US one at least, because like the first time the twist was ever used, it resulted in it being given away prematurely, and the team who won it going on having like a race-long meltdown and not even using it. So I can see why they want to use it again.
Since then, it's only been really good in both Amazing Race Canada seasons, because same thing pretty much happened in the first Canadian season where a team had a big blunder in the same way as Anders and Jessica did, spoiler. And then in this second Canadian one, you have Pierre and the Michelles using that to increase their villainous nature and completely fooling the hockey heroes.
Listen, we do not refer to them as the hockey heroes.
I will. I'll refer to them as the hockey heroes from here on in.
Their edit was shoved down our throat, especially in the leg that was supposed to be respectful to Canada's history.
Really? I thought you said they were boring. Now you get saying they're being shoved down our throats? Which is it, Michael?
No, in the intros, every single time they were referred to as hockey heroes Natalie and Megan. They were basically not seen on screen until they won the leg again, but they were just referred to as hockey heroes Natalie and Megan.
That sounds awfully like it didn't happen at all. So I'm gonna assume you're making that up. Anyway,
I'll prove it. I've got my notes.
Can we talk about? Yeah, but you focus on weird things. Can we talk about how awesome the New Zealander teams were this season?
Yes.
Kat and Jessie! Yay!
And I will say, Kylie and Heleney.
Who?
And also, remember Edge Revolution. I don't actually mind John and Murray now.
John and Muddy? Yeah, they're both pretty stellar guys for the most part. The one that try to revive Joe for half the year.
Well, Elizabeth and Todd are basically honorary Kiwis anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, they might as well be.
In terms of teams we like.
Hmm.
But, yeah, Kat and Jessie were absolutely screwed by that physical leg in Dubrovnik, which is...
The Kiwi inside all of us.
So, yeah, exactly. There is literally a Kiwi inside me.
Use lubricant.
Yeah,
Ben, you have to take it the horrible way.
I think...
I'm going to avoid a character.
But I liked Emily and Jono, and they weren't New Zealanders, and they were vilified for... Jono was, for being, so... I don't know, wussy. They called him wussy for not running.
Yeah.
What's that?
For a Charlie.
Lucy.
Yeah, but if it hasn't been obvious so far, the casual fans suck. So
Yeah.
How did Tyson lose to a bunch of Kiwis in a game of tug of war? That always mystified me.
Because the Kiwis used the correct strategy. Especially with the pair of rugby players. Because, I mean, John and Murray won't have been light. They will have been quite muscly as well. Knowing rugby players.
No, you just have to stand still in a tug of war and let the other team tire themselves out.
Yeah, I mean, the Australians went for the completely wrong tactic. Although I would have liked to see what had happened if the tug of war went on so long that they missed one of the flights to from Alice Springs.
Oh, like the Survivor Guatemala tug of war task or
Yeah,
challenge?
Just
Minus Bobby John's crazy eyes.
make it last as long as the original Trek in Survivor Guatemala.
I didn't like it because it stopped the start of the season of everyone running off.
Yeah.
You only had the New Zealanders running off, and then they didn't really need to run because they're all the New Zealanders together. So it just took away from the adrenaline rush that the start is supposed to be.
I think.
Don't tell me your team anyway.
I think if they did it again, they probably wouldn't do it at the start line. They'd spread it a couple of times through the season. Because, I mean, Leg 6 was the very last time they could have really done it and guaranteed that there would have been at least one team from each nation.
Yes.
it was really it was kind of like a really large intersection, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I
They didn't
didn't
really do much with it,
$16.
but still.
I didn't hate the nesting dolls task as much as I probably should have. It wasn't
It's
as
somewhat confusing on screen.
it wasn't as bad as I was worried it was going to be. If nothing else.
I think it was interesting because the New Zealanders were just so clueless, weren't they? Or the
Yeah.
Aussies were clueless. Zealanders.
The New Zealanders were clueless in that doll task.
John and Murray
Yeah.
were.
Yeah, John
Yeah,
and
because they
Murray
didn't want to team up with
got
anybody.
away. Which is kind of the whole point.
Yeah. Oh, and John and Murray on that massage task, just being annoying for no reason.
Do we have to talk about massage tasks yet?
Yeah, let's save it for
We're getting there. We're getting there.
With my favourite screenshots of the year.
Poor girl.
It brings me so much joy.
whatever, Brooke. Oh.
It was so hurtful. I'm like, you need to try that. Then you can know the pain is for real.
No, I don't.
That
So
was really hurt.
have we got much more to talk about with Australia?
Well, we didn't really discuss like the teams themselves. We just sort of like glazed over each one. Do we have favourites?
Well,
from each
Inga and Tiana, like, gone. Models are in and gone.
I think I speak for everyone. I think I speak for everyone when I say that the people's champions were Ashley and Jared. Nearly said it without laughing.
Charlotte
Say something. But
was clueless in this season.
Oh,
Interesting.
Christy did look a lot like Charlie. You're right.
Ben is giggling. Like,
Oh, that's probably because I put a picture of Ashley and Jared on the screen, and I'm not referring to it. My favourite entire thing about Aston and Christy was the fact that Christy, for all three of her legs, just told people to eat a dick. Every single time we saw her on screen, it was either eat a dick or eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah,
She the one that slept in too?
They're all the same.
John and Murray slept in at the start of the second leg.
Oh yeah, because they knew that there'd be an equalizer coming up and wanted the extra sleep anyway.
Yeah,
But I thought that Christy was complaining about sleep or something like that and saying that.
Oh yeah, she was knackered.
But she was tired from just doing the normal race.
She just, was clearly in trouble.
And Eamon's leaving us now, apparently, because he's got better things to do.
Aww.
Oh.
Bye.
So we
Did
just have like
you
15
mute
minutes to
him?
go.
Oh, cool.
I have to go to eat something, and I'm pretty hungry because I have a lot of stuff to do here. It's like just like almost finished. And you guys, I want to share with you guys, but I can't.
Bye.
And I keep thinking about G-string. No. I want to talk to Michelle. The G-string thing.
At least.
Hold on.
Wait. Your legacy is going to be the phrase.
You have the internet.
I want to talk about Michelle. I want to talk to Michelle about her G-string thing.
Shut up, Mike. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Michelle. Like the G-string thing. It's It wasn't. It was funny that you mentioned exactly like you don't wear the underwear and then you wear G-string, and I just can't stop thinking about that.
Eamon, can this conversation be done on Facebook?
I wear underwear, but it's a different kind. It's not like full underwear. But
Eamon, can this conversation be done on Facebook?
If I have to do a task, I put bike pants over the top if it's a swimming task or something.
Because
whatever.
Whilst this is quite an entertaining conversation, it has deviated the podcast a tiny little bit.
Ben and Logan.
Look like Ben, like face forming or something.
Yeah, because did I ever think we were going to be talking about Michelle's underwear?
Well, she's dead at first.
It's most like this, and I'm glad I'm not hosting anymore.
Eamon.
Right.
It's been real.
Yeah. I have to go. So yeah, enjoy talking to you guys.
Bye. Bye, Eamon.
See ya, Eamon.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Right.
Okay, well, Daniel and Ryan, we haven't even talked about the winners.
Nah, not much to talk about really.
I wish there was more to talk about, but like at some point in the race, they just sort of like lost their favor because like
well, they knocked Emily and Jono out. Well, that was Jono's legs, but
Yeah, like they were good at the start of the race when they were very like positive and had a few low key moments and it's very like. They were nice. They didn't like set my world in fuego, but like still, they were nice and like they're palatable, all that. But then like at some point, I think it was like during Africa or after Thailand or around that area when the New Zealanders started dropping off, it's like they decided we can't be happy anymore. We need to be competitive. We need to play the game, and it's sort of like they turned into bland strategy bots who always talked about the race and stuff, and it's just like. That's not what I want to watch. I don't want to watch people talk about the race. That's like, if I want to talk about people endlessly talking about whatsoever.
They had nice hair at the end.
So yeah.
Yeah, at least they got a haircut.
Yeah.
Also, I have a theory on this. Amazing Race Canada 3 will almost certainly use the head shave fast forward. I'm very surprised we've not seen it yet.
Or maybe a variation like they did for this one.
Yeah. I think we're going to get some sort of head shave in Amazing Race Canada 3.
I'm frightened.
Yeah, Logan, prepare for that.
I shall weep.
So should we talk about 25?
Yep.
See as though we've
already finished talking about Australia?
Yeah.
What was the best leg of the season? Probably. Any favourites?
Argentina was a decent leg. Argentina was better than I thought it was going to be.
Argentina led to the pretty bad final three though.
Yeah, Namibia was good, but could have been better because in terms of distance travelled, it wasn't huge, and also it cost us Emily and Jono.
I liked Russia. I liked them in Russia.
Yeah, the Russian legs were pretty good. I mean, I liked the intersection because it reminded me of a Thought by Our game.
Oh, is that the one with the inappropriate?
Yes, that is the one with the inappropriate camera works, and the one of the games on Thought by Our that causes the most cleavage shots.
Of course. My favorite was probably the Portugal leg because even though I hate Ashley and Jared, it's like still stop bloody sliding.
Stop bloody sliding!
Like that was just like an entire leg meltdown just for them. I wish they'd been eliminated, but still.
Oh, why couldn't
So many
you sing the
umbrellas.
song?
they have used the salvage pass?
Ben, do you remember the song?
I remember the how it goes, but I don't remember what it's called. Seku no jen dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's all I remember.
The Fado.
Yeah, Philo. Yeah,
You were good at it.
yeah. I looked it up and like listened to it a few times before actually doing the podcast that week.
You practiced.
Oh.
My favorite thing about the Australia season is where Grand Bowler fakes out the runner-up and third place prize money at the end, where he starts by saying, "You've won 100,000 Virgin Air mile points. Good for you guys."
Also, yeah.
I always like the pause, like $100,000.
The one thing we didn't mention was
What he does, and he just replaces it with a grand or two, which I find highly amusing.
Yeah, the one thing we didn't mention was Grant Bowler's happy face. We only saw it once.
And his hair was a really weird
He likes
color.
proposals. He is a romantic fellow.
The reason I'm laughing at his hair is just purely because of Rant Bowler.
Yeah.
What's Rambola for those who are uninformed?
If you follow Amazing Race Australia and do not watch or do not follow Rant Bowler on Twitter at Rant Bowler or Grant Bowler without the G, it's amazing. He basically just tweeted along with the Amazing Race Australia seasons being bitchy about Grant Bowler.
He was really funny.
Yeah. Such as how will teams remember what the greasers were wearing when they were mesmerised by my hair? Nothing says finale like a polo shirt. 10 countries, 90,000 kilometres, over 400 containers of hair products, and one incredible jump. It all comes down to this. Oh, I love Rant Bowler. Rant Bowler was maybe my favourite thing in the entire season of Amazing Race Australia versus New Zealand. So, shall we move on to...
Which proposal was better?
I think Elena Nadre, purely because...
I prefer Elena Andre too. Elena Andre.
Not only are their names much more fun to say, but also we have her reaction of her just screaming to Paris, "I said yes!" Which as soon as
She's seen too many movies.
Yeah, which as soon as I saw the episode title, I was like, Elaine's going to propose.
And he kept it in a sock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who didn't see that coming though?
Yeah, true. Also,
Audrey.
Yeah, I liked that they I followed a bit of spoilers while I was watching the season, but then I caught up. I did like that they like outlasted where people thought they'd place. Like, wasn't the spoilers place that they'd be eliminated in France?
Yeah, we thought they'd be sort of out a little bit earlier than they were. We didn't think they'd make it back to Canada. I can't remember exactly where we said they'd place, but I think it was about 7th-ish.
So it was a better proposal than Sally Tyson's, though.
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about in Amazing Race Canada was Logan's Twitter feud with John Montgomery.
Yes, that was fun.
The Ginger Rage.
Yes, I got threatened with Ginger Rage by John Montgomery on Twitter.
Whilst you were doing that, I was getting Edis's fired.
That's a good
Okay.
tag team. Good tag team.
Yeah.
And then 4,000 people watching what Ben and Michelle were saying about Australia each week.
Exactly. And occasionally Eamon when he turned up. So, shall we move on to our most recent season and the one that ranked highest in the poll? Predictable but deserved, blowing all efforts of Amazing Race.
Recency bias.
from the past several years out of the water. The season of everyone's favourite dirt-voiced surfer, controversial but palatable villains, popular winners who cause certain people to become incoherent with rage upon their victory, and an inspired and interesting route. Basically everything that Amazing Race 24 lacked. 9.03 out of 10. How did that happen? I might have added the brook bit.
Michael, you screwed up again. How is that possible?
I know.
How is that possible?
I know. I just like I like bastardizing it just because it winds better for a little bit.
No, it's not.
That was like
What happened is better.
How did that happen? Yeah. How is that possible?
Mark Jackson version of No Possibles.
Yeah. I got no possibles. And we're just being mean about Mark again, and it's nice. So, should we start with the best leg? Because I don't think there's going to be any real discussion on what this is. I don't think there's going to be any intrigue about what my choice for the best leg is going to be.
Norway?
Yes, it was
Cups?
indeed Norway. It was indeed the Cups. Shocker, I know.
Yeah, I laughed.
Oh.
And I didn't laugh because of the pain. I laughed because who was doing that maniacal laugh
Brooke.
at her?
Brooke.
Brooke. Yeah. I laughed because of Brooke and what she was doing. I thought it was hysterical.
Oh, easily my favourite task for a long while. I loved it. Because it was just so horrible. They were just so...
How was this horrible?
Exactly. They were just so horrible to everyone, and it was kind of hilarious. And in fact, I do have another 8 screen caps of the cup massage that I have not used yet. I completely forgot about
But
till
the
then.
thing is that everyone thought it was so abusive to the teams. But it's just a normal thing.
Indeed it is. I'm just going to leave Brooks.
But there it is. There's the laugh.
I screen capped the entire task for Logan.
Oh,
Because
God,
he did
that was
better.
so funny.
I also like how it, like, just for no reason, it just reinforced the stereotype of Asian masseuses talking shit about their customers in their native language.
Yeah, I mean...
These foreigners have a low tolerance of pain, don't they?
I couldn't believe how this task was a scrap, one that was not taken in me. Awesome it's going to be, and it's even better than I expected. It's the only task where I've just sat there, not even made notes, just laughed throughout the entire
You
time.
were laughing at them,
I
Michael?
was indeed laughing at them, and I'm going to quickly make a Margie overlay and do this about 5 minutes too late, probably, because I'm busy making.
So it's pretty late.
Because I'm busy making a Brook one at the moment.
Can we talk about how awesome the cast was this season?
We can.
Except for Lisa and Michelle. Can they stop, please,
And
putting in matching pink blonde teams or brunette teams that go out right at the beginning?
What are you talking about? Lisa and Michelle are 11th place goddesses.
Oh my God! Seriously.
I'll say they were at the bottom for me for the season, but they weren't the bottom. Like they were like, they'd say they're roughly interchangeable with Michael and Scott. If only because Lisa and Michelle didn't milk a sub story.
Who placed higher?
Michael and Scott, the firefighters.
Really? No, I mean in Ben's poll. In the actual.
I don't know.
Lisa and Michelle.
I thought.
Really?
Yeah, Michael.
Only back like a tenth of a point though.
Michael and Scott were 42nd of 43, weren't they?
Yeah.
At least Dave and Connor were worse, apparently.
Mm.
Where's Logan gone about
Which
that?
I'm happy with.
Logan's disappeared.
Oh well.
I'd say oh well.
Okay, I liked Adam and Bethany. Yes, I like Bethany with the millions of people around the world because I
Yeah,
thought she was amazing with one arm and doing some of the things faster than the teams who had two arms.
Ben, take it away.
Yeah.
You liked Adam and Bethany.
I don't like being looked down upon because I got one arm. People look upon me and I think I can do things.
How is that possible?
I like it for the same reasons you do, Michelle, but I also like it for the same reasons Michael does. So I'm not sure, Michael. Do you like them?
I like them in the grand scheme of things. They weren't my top team from Amazing Race 25. I like them because
They were?
No, they weren't. I like them.
Oh, okay.
I like them like a lot of teams where I can just mock them. I like them.
I
where
like
I'm
them for
allowed-
both reasons, because they weren't that shoved down our throats, but when they were, it was just sort of like really silly because Bethany has the dappiest voice in the world.
I like it because we're allowed to take the piss out of them, not for a reason that people will then call me so mean on the YouTube comments for.
Yeah, but it's not our maliciousness, because
Exactly.
you can't really deny that, doing stuff with one arm and doing it well and winning a few legs in the process is pretty amazing.
I mean, I like them in the same way that I like doing an impression of Mark, but at least Bethany was not involved in any uncomfortable situations with one of the most enthusiastic racers of all time.
Suki and Jinder.
Exactly. Actually, I'd like to see Suki and Jinder race in American season. They would get U-turned, I suspect, purely for blocking the exit.
You know what? I'd probably rival the most enthusiastic racer of all time. If I ever got on, I would be stupid.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I mean, I've got hope for you being on Amazing Race Australia in the same way I've got hope for Logan being on Amazing Race Canada. Because if it happened, there would be no holds barred. You would not get any preferential treatment, and anything silly you would do would be mocked by me.
And you know what? And I've said so much on these podcasts about other people that I fully expect it to be said about me. But
Michelle, I would go back, watch them all, make notes on what you've said, and then use it to put on screen caps of you messing up.
That is exactly what would happen. Exactly what would happen, and I know that.
And you are 100% correct. Because I would happily do that same thing to Logan. And he knows that. He knows he would get the piss ripped out of him if he was ever on Amazing Race Canada and did something stupid.
Yeah. Can I talk about my favorite leg of the season that isn't the Singapore leg?
Yeah.
It's actually the what's it called? Which country is it? Sweden, Finland, Norway?
Denmark, Sweden.
Close enough. Anyway.
Not really that close.
It's in the same area, but yeah. It was as well as being a well put together leg of the race. It also actually did manage to showcase a lot. It actually did manage to showcase the country they're living in, as well as putting together a decent race. Which most of the time they can do one thing, but they can't do the other.
Also,
they managed to balance perfectly. And
Humpy Dogs.
And every single team in the episode every single team in the entire episode was. They were on their A game for the entire thing. They were breaking down. They were fighting. They were insanely positive for no reason. Like Anna Bethany. They were even Keith and Whitney, who you hate, were still great. And Tia and TJ were great as well. Just it brought the great out of everyone, which I love. I love about that leg. It doesn't even matter that there's no one eliminated that leg. Hello?
What did they do there? What did they do there?
Okay, well the first part of the leg was they had to drive an electric car through from Denmark to Sweden, and then they'd have their meter over the bridge from Denmark to Sweden. They have their meter read, and then
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah,
if they
yeah.
manage to do it in under a certain amount of gas of fuel, well then they get their clue immediately. But if they didn't, they have to do a Scandinavian trivia thing.
Welcome back,
And
Logan.
then
Thank you.
oh
My internet completely disconnected.
We were just talking about how if you ever made it on Amazing Race Canada, I would be ripping the piss out of you for anything you've said in the past.
Pretty much what I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I'd expect to.
I'd go back and get some of the best quotes from
Hey, a dog.
here and then put screen caps on there. Yeah, we were talking
so
about the Sweden-Denmark leg where Phil got home.
Yeah, so then the detour was like, assemble a parking space / lounge room, which is completely weird to me, even though I live in Lismore, if you know anything about Lismore.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And then there was the wedding cake task, which was like, because obviously Keith and Whitney did it, so the editors got to throw a huge amount of shade at them again.
So Ben, what you're saying?
They're not a boring.
What you are saying is Whitney is never allowed to throw shade.
When did I say that?
Sass. I have a screen cap for that.
I don't know what you're getting at here. Anyway,
Do you not remember when they checked in Scotland and Whitney just had that sass face? That was the banner. I had it prepared for when you mentioned them.
Okay.
My dad would win the driving slow task portion of the Denmark leg.
Yeah. And then after that, which sometimes they're never complete for like ever, like Jim and Misty, that they went to the restaurant. The roadblock was they had to memorize orders, read them off the wall, include the numbers, and then that was pretty good. It was a pretty good like food porn sort of task. And then they had to drive to the end as well, and that provided entertainment as well because Shelley and Nisi, that entire blow up, like because Shelley whoever the mother was decided, no, I'm not gonna let you know where that leg is because I want to be the leader.
I mean,
lovely.
I know that I am in the minority on the podcast with not particularly enjoying Shelley and Nisi, but.
That's because you're British and you have no soul.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not ginger.
Yeah, but you are British, so.
Yeah, but British people have souls, ginger people do not. Get it right. But at least we had that big blow up that was pretty amusing.
Mm.
Oh dear, I know. It was like a 5-year-old.
And then what? Oh wait, different blow up.
It was indeed good TV.
I'm not taking anything less than awesome for an answer because they are actually my favorite team of the season. So.
Oh, bad.
They made it halfway through the leg, and I think didn't me and Logan predict they'd be like second or third out?
Yeah, you did.
I believe Shelley, Nisi, and Tim and TJ were supposed to be 11th and 10th place for this season. Phil Kogan thought that Keithney would be out in 11th, and he wasn't too far off. Keithney was out before the Shelley and Nisi mid-season train wreck.
But at the same time, Keithney was supposed to be Hayden and Kat until Hayden and Kat broke up, so...
Oh, well.
It's not as if...
Have we talked about things that Boston people do yet?
We haven't.
I care a lot more about Keithney than I do Hayden and Kat, so... I am not a Cochrane fan, so any and all attempts against his life in the game was heavily endorsed by me.
Ben, your opinion on Keithney disgusts me.
Mm-hmm. And your inability to come up with a new line discussed with me as well.
But it's funny.
All right. So, anyone besides the voices in your head?
No.
Okay.
There are voices in my head.
Just making sure.
Also,
I wonder what Boston people think of Keithney. I wonder what Boston people think of a lot of things. I wonder what Boston people are doing right now.
Probably doing Boston things at 7:39 in the morning.
As you do.
Yeah. You'll be disappointed to know that I've not actually got a screen cap of Michael and Scott's ankle prepared.
Oh, that was very purple.
Yeah, it was.
Hmm. That's one way of putting it.
However, I do have a screen cap of the best task judge in a while. King of the Yoda-like sage advice.
He was
Worldly
good.
Yoda like
British
advice,
bias.
was it?
Yeah. Worldly Yoda-like advice it was, yeah. God gave us knees. What the classic
I still say the Michael Jackson Filipino traffic cop was better than that guy.
You mean the Michael Jackson Filipino traffic cop who I now have screen caps?
Yes.
Because I promised to
He had the craziest dance moves. And he's directing traffic at the same time.
I'm pretty sure.
Whoa!
Wayne's
Actually, he might have.
World.
I knew I recognised him from somewhere. He might have appeared on Dutch Mole's visit to the Philippines last year. I'm pretty sure he was actually.
It's
Just realised
possible.
that. Yeah. How is that possible? So who haven't we discussed yet? Kim and Ali we haven't discussed.
I
I like them. I'll cede the floor to anyone else who wants to speak about them.
said they would be awesome, and everyone should be. They are very, very active on social media.
They retweet a lot of
And
your
obviously
posts, don't
very,
they,
very active. So how do they have time for all that? How do they have time for social media and exercising all the time?
How is that possible?
They do everything
Yeah, they retweeted a lot of your posts.
except surf.
That's because the other teams are boring and lame. We're gonna dance outside of pub at 2 a.m.
We also haven't talked about Brooke and Robbie much aside from Brooke's facial reactions.
I liked Brooke a lot of the time. I liked Robbie all the time, but Brooke was sort of like a bit too try-hardish and a lot of the time. But when she got it right, she got it right. So
I think
Robbie was like a roided up Seth Green. That's what I liked about him. That's what made everything 10 times funnier that way.
I think they were trying to be new Suki and Jinder, but they probably weren't as well. They weren't as good.
They weren't as entertaining
I
at
don't think
all.
we know who Suki and Jinder are, Michael. Much to your disappointment.
We've gone through my love of Suki and Jinder.
I don't know. I didn't want them to win. I just thought they were. I had no idea. I just had an aura about them. I didn't want them to win. They just were just.
but that was their
annoying.
role in the season to be the
Heels.
Heels, yes, the heels.
Use proper
fun fact.
wrestling terms, then.
Fun fact: they are only the second team ever to actually be eliminated on the final leg of any Amazing Race.
There was that team in Brazil, right?
Yep, the Brazilian one who refused to eat 2 kilos of smoked clams, I think?
2 kilos?
Yeah,
2
it was.
kilos of a weird food?
Yeah, I'm just googling it now. Where is it?
That's like more than they had to eat in that leg in season 7. You know, the 4 pounds of like cow beef. There was like intestines.
It was the market teams had to each eat 2 kilos of smoked clams. Failure to
2
complete this
kilos
task.
each.
Yeah, failure to complete this task would see the
That's
teams
a
be
lot of
disqualified. Yeah.
I think only I could probably eat that much out of all the people that I know. If you've ever gone with me to an all-you-can-eat sushi place, that's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah, the all-you-can-eat buffets are known as the Harmstone Challenge.
I can eat 2 kilos of different kinds of food. I think I could.
Especially
Like if you had a buffet and said, right.
Yeah, especially when it's a buffet with roast meats. I will go back for a main course about 3 or 4 times with roast potatoes, with everything. Oh,
I think Robbie could eat 2 kilos of McDonald's French fries when he's relaxed.
Oh, I probably could actually.
Or you could just wear them on his hair. It wouldn't look out of place.
Jim and Misty we've also sort of skirted over a little bit.
Not much to say really. They're like every other like dominant, aggressive dominant team, but sort of like less douchey.
She
They
was
did some
very
really
nice.
good write-ups online. They did after each episode aired, they would do like it seemed like a short essay for each episode that we didn't get to see on TV that week.
Yeah, they were pretty good at
And
recapping
editors had a lot of
themselves.
it, especially Jim's statements of overconfidence.
I pretty much said, or we all pretty much agreed that they weren't as bad as they were made out to be.
Although
Did I miss out
their
on
phases
on,
are like
Ben's Bethany
like public
impressions?
service. Their faces are like a public service announcement for plastic surgery. So
Yeah, true.
like as much as you can dig on Misty for the blonde and the lips and all that stuff. At least she looks like a human. Jim looks like. You know what a kid is like playing in the mud. He like makes a little thing. He tries to sort of make a human head out of like the mud on the ground or like clay or something. But then the eyes they're always off. There's no eyelids. They're just unblinking.
I have to say that his smile is really forced in the cast shot. It's like he's tense.
Is it like a Herman
They
King
pay
slow
a lot of money for
smile?
that teeth. They might as well show them off.
So outside of the obvious choice of the massage task, what other tasks were particularly good?
The ponies?
Yeah, the ponies were nice and sassy.
The strange puzzle and rope and the tightrope thing in Morocco there in the Atlas Mountains.
Oh yeah, forgot about that
Yeah,
one.
that was.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
How am I supposed to do this with one arm?
I
The
think
jump
really,
off the window
I think.
in
And the cable
Hollywood.
breaking
Yeah.
on Jim in Singapore there.
That was the very first roadblock.
And we're still on with the crabs is the crabs.
Oh yeah,
Jim and crabs.
the first robot. was
Funnily
good as well.
enough, like the fact that they were digging in hours for something that was actually they were actually nowhere near, while the teams in season 22 they were digging for something they knew were there, but they like didn't actually look. It makes it look like real. It makes them look like real idiots now in retrospect. I mean, I guess they also added the graphics to like showing them where the treasure chests were to make them look like idiots too. But still,
That was quite Canadian though. Canada was very good at doing that this year. So, should we get to some listener questions?
Sure.
let's roll through them because it's almost midnight here. So
we've got one from Heather McDonald who says, since it was kind of brought up earlier, I'd like to hear your thoughts on Sean and Jen from Amazing Race Canada 2. I think they would have had a better edit had Sean not got hurt in the second leg, who liked them, who didn't. As I pointed out last night, they were our big miss of the year. We thought they were going to do quite well, actually. So it was a disappointment to see them go out so early.
they didn't really add much this season. They probably added a bit more than Laura and Jackie, but they were better when their names were Kat and Jesse. So
Well, yeah.
I think they weren't there long enough to add much to the season. They were pretty good though, but if they were,
they're in the same amount of legs as Elizabeth and Todd.
From
Didn't
their...
they almost get beat by Shala and Nabila on the first
Yes! I forgot about that. Yes, they did.
leg as well?
Yeah, they very nearly made us get egg on our face by getting eliminated compared to Shala and Nabila, who we were certain would get
I
eliminated
think
first.
Sean is going to take a while to recover from that injury, though. He's acting and he still comments in a state where he doesn't sound terribly happy about the whole incident.
Yeah.
It's almost reminds me of the Russell Swan days when he was voted out of Philippines after being from a medical evacuation, feeling like reality TV just completely screwed him over.
We got one from Linda Pierce who says, what did you think of the final four twist on Amazing Race 25 this season? How do you feel when an underdog wins over a fan favourite or strong team, like Mickey and Pete, or over Natalie and Megan, or Amy and Maya over Jim, Misty, and Bethany and Adam? I mean, we called Amy and Maya by like 5, I think it was, when Jim was talking about No, It Smells Like Shit. But I can't say I was heartbroken. I mean, I quite liked Misty and Jim. Didn't particularly like Natalie and Megan because they were a bit one-dimensional.
And Mickey and Pete weren't?
Well, yeah. I would have rather Ryan and Rob won of the final 3, but I wanted Suki and Jim to win.
Yeah, we can't handle it as confrontation, man. But you're harshing our mellow.
Bro.
Really? That's not one-dimensional.
Did we like the final?
Anyway, look.
Or twist?
I didn't actually.
I did, yeah. I thought it was a nice
I was fine with it. I was fine with it because it saved Amy and Maya. And to answer the other one, I'm fine with underdogs beating overdogs as long as the underdog are the more likable team, like Amy and Maya over the other two.
I mean, I was shocked when it happened, and I literally looked at the screen and went like a full minute before I could breathe or talk, because I just thought it was amazing that they'd been saved, and I wanted them to be saved, but I knew it was a non-elimination league, but yeah, got saved.
I would have preferred to be a final.
Yeah.
Go.
2 on the final leg. It doesn't copy that format with a final 4 at the end because Amazing hurt me a bit.
Well, then you'd probably have had Brooke and Robbie and Adam and Bethany in that case. Which, would have been awful. So
that would have been a
probably
strange showdown.
Yeah, probably the final question, this one. What do you think has been the best or favourite final challenge on any season or any version? And the worst or lamest final challenge? I suspect to know where Logan's going to go, so...
Roll call!
Amazing Race 12's the best, hands down.
Yeah.
I'm partial. I love 12. That's my favorite, and I'm partial to 9 as well.
16 was a terrible one and a waste of a final challenge.
There's worse though. Remember in Chicago when they had to eat a pizza, eat a slice of pizza.
Oh, the pizza. Freddy's involvement with cosplay in that moment with his Dungeons and Dragons ness.
How are you focusing on that when you have Adam having a meltdown? I only ate deep pan, Rebecca.
I miss Adam and Rebecca. They were legends.
And the final task of season 10, we had to run down a street. Take that, overweight mothers.
Oh.
Well, I like 22. I like the giant ball task in the big, like, swimming pool where they had to pick out the globes of the countries they've been to.
Yeah, that was another good one.
Appropriately silly.
Yeah. Appropriately ridiculous. 21 was another good one, if horrendously mean. Like, maybe the meanest challenge they've done for a long while.
You mean no other task has accidentally assaulted one of the members?
Well, yeah. We've actually got another couple of questions, which I need to load up now. From Heather, again, who says, what's the worst thing someone has said to their teammate? Was it Kelly when she said Ron got out of the war by being a POW because he had commitment issues?
It's not that. I'd probably say anything Jonathan said to Victoria.
Yeah, I was going to go for Jonathan.
Anything Edwin said to Monica. What else?
I think Jonathan just takes the cake.
Yeah. And we will actually finish with a question from Eric. Going back to Nicole, do you admire her for not quitting on the roadblock, even though she was tired from biking up the hill and back, or would it be best for her to quit and take the penalty and save some of her energy? Well, I remember working out that she did basically a marathon. So, yeah,
It
probably
would have been funnier if the hashtag was always give up, Nicole.
Yeah, just give up and quit, Nicole. Just save all of us some time of running up and down with you.
Save the footage. The camera operator and sound operator have just been working too hard all day. Just pack her in, man. Just pack her in. It's game over.
It was so brutal. The poor woman. I was like, oh, come on, just get there and do it. Finish it.
And on that note, thank you very much for watching.
If I knew how to do that task, he'd be out there just as long. I can't wink one eye, Jill.
Is that it for 2014?
Yeah.
I referenced the William Tell task.
So, thank you very much for watching and listening. You can join us in early February for our preview of Amazing Race 26, or as it shall be known, the Amazing Race 6 Redux. If you enjoyed the show, or even if you didn't, please give us a like on YouTube. And if you want to see what we're rambling about this week, our Twitters are in the description down below. Thank you again. And goodbye.
Did we just do 50 hours of footage in 2.5 hours?
Yeah, pretty much. Bye, Internet.